நிலேஷ்
சார்
அஸ்வின் சார் வெயிட் பண்றாங்க. ஆரம்பிக்கலாம்.
ஆரம்பிக்கலாம் சார்.
பிரபுதாஸ் சார்.
சார் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாமா சார்?
நீங்க கோஹோஸ்ட்
சண்முக சுந்தர் சார், நீங்க தான் கோஹோஸ்ட் கொடுக்க முடியும் சார். நீங்க தான் ஹோஸ்ட்.
ஒரு நிமிஷம் சார். 2 minutes.
Excuse me, sir. The feedback link is not opening actually. Is there any problem or?
Sir, the link is open, sir. It is active, sir. You can put your feedback. Everyone are putting their feedback. Maybe due to network issues, you are facing some problem.
Okay, sir.
Maybe you can wait till the second session. The second session will be starting.
Yeah. I'm trying, but I'm not actually. The link is not opening. So I was just.
Okay. It is active, sir. You can try after some time.
Okay.
Thank you. Sir, Shanmugh Sundar sir, star reading na Prabhudas sir ready sir inga.
இது ஷேர் ஆகல. சரி ஆயிடுச்சு.
Sharing, sir. Good morning.
Shared?
Yes, not just sharing is showing, not at PPT. I'm Dr. P.K. Chidambaram. Good morning, sir. It's showing just sharing, screen sharing.
Full mode.
PPT is not coming.
Prabhudas, is it visible?
Sir,
No,
you
no.
know, PPT is not visible, sir.
PPT is visible.
No, no.
Not visible, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir. It is okay, sir. Visible.
Now it is visible?
Yes.
It is visible, sir. It has
Green.
come.
Yeah.
Visible, sir.
Okay, shall we start?
Yes, sir. We'll start, sir. So, good morning once again, everyone. So, we'll move on to the second session. So, we have our beloved principal, sir, Dr. K. Palani Kumar, Principal Sri Saram Institute of Technology with us, teacher, administrator, and international researcher on composite materials. Sir is the chairman of Institution of Engineers India, Kanjipuram Local Center. He is the executive council member, Indian Society for Technical Education, an experienced professor with a demonstrated history of working in higher education industry. He is skilled in statistical data analysis, lecturing, curriculum development, and public speaking. Strong education professional with a Doctor of Philosophy focused in mechanical engineering from Anna University. He is one of the international expert in composite materials. He has organized many conferences, symposium, faculty development programs. He has more than 5,000 citations to his credit and published more than 160 articles in SCI and Scopus Index journals. He has received a grant in aid of around 1 crore from different funding agencies. He is the pillar of support of our institution. We are happy to have you, sir. So please take over the session, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice introduction. On behalf of Sri Sai Ram Institute of Technology and also on behalf of All India Council for Technical Education, I warm welcome you one and all for this program. This is a program sponsored by All India Council for Technical Education, short-term training program for the benefit of the teachers. So the title is Smart Materials. Smart materials are mainly used for making the piezoelectric actuators, finding many applications in industries. Even by using of plant fiber based biocomposites, we are able to have the piezoelectric translator, transducers, and many things else. So that we have selected this plant fiber based biocomposites, sustainable and renewable green materials. Plant fibers are naturally available and these are biomaterials. If we are using the biomaterial, we are able to reduce the effect of environment. So when you are using the synthetic material, it affects the environment so that we are going to spoil the environment. To reduce the spoiling of the environment, we are able to have the plant fiber based biocomposites. Previously, all the composites are manufactured by means of using synthetic fibers like glass fiber. So when you are using the synthetic fiber and if you are going to throw it outside, then it is non-biodegradable. Because of that, we are going to spoil the environment. To reduce the effect of this, we are going to have the plant fiber. So these are naturally available fiber. Even in our roadside, many plants are available. If you are taking that plants and if you are able to convert it into plant fiber, then that is one of the very good method of making the composites. So these are the sustainable and renewable green material. So they are able to maintain the sustainability and also they are renewable and these are within the green materials category. So the plant fiber based biocomposites are used in many applications, even in sports application, medicinal applications, even prosthetic, limb, even in ortho, even dental applications. Like many applications, we are going to have the plant fiber. Even by using the plant fiber, we are able to have the ornamental parts, materials, and other thing. So that the plant fiber based biocomposites are important materials used for the manufacturing the different component. So the area is growing day by day, so that we are able to have the sustainability, and also these are renewable green materials, so that we are able to use it for a long time. So again and again the plants are growing. Because of that, we are able to have more amount of material. So these are the renewable materials like green energy. If you are taking the sun energy or solar energy, we are able to extract from the sun. So these are abundantly available and daily available. Like that, in the plant fiber based biocomposites are also the green materials, finding many applications in industries. The manufacture of currently used material is quite difficult as regards consumption of energy, raw material, and cost. When you are making the material, if you are able to reduce the energy consumption, this is also maintaining the sustainability. The sustainability maintenance for making the raw material is very, very difficult. Therefore, there are efforts for finding suitable alternative material resources, while local, easily renewable resources are to be the advantageous alternative on the condition of consequent processing with low energy requirement. When you are using the local and easily available renewable material, so these are alternative material, and they are, when you are making the components using these materials, then you are able to save the energy. Also the manufacturing cost for the components can be reduced. So these materials require only the less energy. Within the less energy, you are able to make the components easily by using the renewable energy material like biocomposites, which are produced from the plant fiber. The readily available renewable material resources are very important also from the point of sustainability of material resources. So the readily available renewable material resources are very, very important, which are readily available from the plant and are finding many applications, so that these materials can be easily used. One of the methods of solution is using naturally available fibrous resources from agriculture. If you are able to get the material from the agriculture, so these are the materials used for making the composites. The fibers extracted from plants are a type of renewable sources and a new generation of reinforcements and supplements for polymer based materials. These fibers are renewable and are cheaply available, and these are completely or partially recyclable. When you are talking about the plant fiber, almost all the plant fibers are completely recyclable. But when you are using this with synthetic resin, then this is partially recyclable. If you are going to use the bioresin, then the plant fiber and the bioresin composites completely renewable. So these are naturally available when compared to the manufacturing of glass and related man-made fiber. So these fibers are easily plucked from the plant, and we are able to have these kind of materials very much easily. These are biodegradable and environment friendly material. Their availability, low density, and the price, as well as satisfactory mechanical properties, make them attractive alternative reinforcement to glass, carbon, and other man-made fiber. So that these kind of materials are very much useful in industry, even in home, because the price as well as satisfactory mechanical properties. When you are going to keep something on the top of the table, if the table requirement is not as much as strength, then we are able to make the components by means of using the plant fiber. If you are in needing of high strength, then you can go for a steel and other type of benches. But when we are in not need of strength, day to days, day use, and household applications, we are able to have these kind of plant fibers with composites. So these are attractive alternative reinforcement to glass, carbon, and other man-made fiber. These natural fibers originated from plants, have been used for thousands of years. So they are naturally available resources. In Egypt, Mesopotamia, and many places in ancient days, they have used plant fiber reinforced materials instead of making the iron bars for making the concrete and related structure. When you are going to have the concrete and related structure inside of the cement and jelly, we are using the iron as the reinforcing material. When you are going to replace this iron by like bamboo and other material, you are able to get some strength, so that this can be useful, and these are the materials initially used for reinforcements in construction and related activities. They are naturally available resources, popular among consumers who are highly health conscious. When you are talking about people, those who are living in forest and the interior area, even nowadays, they are using the plant fiber for the construction of roof and related material. And these fibers are considered as valuable raw materials for many applications, and also they have found use in gardening, bulb and paper, cosmetic, and food industries. So that using the plant fiber, we are able to have lot of applications. The fiber from plants such as cotton, hemp, jute, sisal, even pineapple, rami, bamboo, banana, extra, as well as wood and the seeds of flax are used as the reinforcement in polymer matrix composites. So when you are seeing that the plant fiber, even which are nearly available you, like snake grass, and milk wire fiber, like these kind of fibers are very easily available nearer to you. If you are able to pluck from the trees, and if you are able to convert it into the fiber, these fibers are useful for making many products. Among all the fiber plants, Areca appears to be a promising reinforcing material because it is inexpensive, abundantly available, and a very high potential perennial crop. It belongs to the family Palmaceae, originated in the Malaysia Peninsula and cultivated in India and other countries in Asia. In for example, in India, areca nut cultivation is coming up on a large scale basis with a view to attaining self-sufficiency in medicine, paint, chocolate, gutka, etc. So these materials are used for manufacturing and making of paint, chocolate, gutka, etc. The husk of the archas, a hard fibrous portion covering the endosperm, which constitute 30 to 45% of the total volume of the fruit. Areca husk fibers are predominantly composed of hemicelluloses and not of cellulose. Areca fibers contain 13 to 24.6% of lignin, 35 to 64.8% of hemicelluloses, 4.4% of ash, and 8 to 25% of water content. Approximately 70 million metric tons of bananas are produced every year by the tropical and subtropical regions of the world. Even in Tamil Nadu, the banana cultivation and the use of the banana is extraordinarily available. Even in interior areas, wherever you go, we are able to see the banana tree. The nutritional facts of banana are carbohydrates, protein, fat, water, vitamins, and other mineral. So the banana plants generally produce 30 large leaves, almost 2 meter long and 30 to 60 centimeter wide. The hemp is another natural material which are abundantly available, and in many places they are growing hemp as the alternative resource for the polymer composite. Hemp is naturally one of the most ecologically friendly fiber and also the oldest crop. The Columbia history of the world states that the oldest relics of human industry are bits of hemp fabric discovered in tombs dating back to approximately 8000 BC. Hemp is an annual plant native to Central Asia and known to have been grown for more than 12,000 years. So that the hemp is another one alternative materials even used in India for making the components. This is kanaf. Even in Tamil, we are going to say that pulchakirai. This is another one kind of material, plant fiber, used as reinforcement in polymer matrix composites. So the biomass waste from palm plantation and palm industry are challenging biopellet based material. The utilization of oil palm solid waste gives positive impact not only for the environment but also to the wellness and the economical. By integrated waste management provide production process that more efficient in economic side. So when we are talking about the economic side, normally the palm fibers are used for making the many components. Jute is another one fiber originated from Tiliaceae family and takes nearly 3 months to grow to a height of 12 to 15 feet. Jute plant is cut and kept immersed in the water for retting process during rainy season. Using this retting process only, we are able to get the fiber. So the retting process also very, very important. The inner stem and the outer gets separated and the outer plant gets individualized to form fiber. Jute fiber is known as golden fiber and is grown in eastern India and Bangladesh. So the jute is normally used for making the composites. Even sack and many other things we are using the jute. When you are going to convert by using this jute into usable material by incorporating polymers, then we are able to have many products. So these products are finding wide application in many industries. Bamboo belongs to the grass family. Bamboo Saidia, which consists of cellulose fiber embedded in a lignin matrix. Bamboo has several advantages over other plant fiber such as its low density, low cost, high mechanical strength, stiffness, high growth rate, and its ability to fix atmospheric CO. Bamboo has some disadvantages, including high moisture content, the difficulty of extracting fine and straight fiber, the thermal degradation during manufacturing. Bamboo has approximately 70 varieties and grows naturally in diverse climates, with particular abundance in Asia and South America. The bamboo fibers are used for construction and related work also. So these are finding many applications. Sisal fiber is a hard fiber extracted from the leaves of the sisal. Though native to tropical and subtropical North and South America, sisal plant is now widely grown in countries like Africa, West Indies, and the Far East. A sisal plant produces about 200 leaves, and each leaf contains around 1000 fiber. So these are composed of 4% fiber, 0.75% cuticle, 8% dry matter, and 87.25% normally, a leaf weighing about 600 gram will yield about 3% by weight of fiber. So sisal is the plant. Using this plant, we are able to extract the fiber. So these are easily yield fiber, but using this sisal, we are able to get only 3% by weight of fiber. Pineapple leaf fiber or POF is another one fiber which are used in different occasions and different field. So these are obtained from the leaves of the plant belonging to the Bromeliaceae family. POF is largely cultivated in tropical countries, mainly for its fruit. Its cultivation in India is substantial. About 22 lakh 50,000 acres of land is cultivated and is increasing. In the future, a considerable increase in the production of the fiber is envisaged. So that bamboo is another one, sorry, pineapple leaf fiber, pulp is another one important area we are able to explore more fiber. The pineapple plant has a very short stem, which first produces a rosette of leaves, but which later elongated and bears numerous spirally arranged fibrous leaves. The leaves are about 3 feet long, 2 to 3-inch wide, sword shaped, dark green in color, and bear spines of claws on their margin. So these are some of the fiber plant available. So the first one is the rosal fiber. The second one is the wire fiber, and the third one is the cotton fiber. Even from the cotton, we are able to get the fiber. So these fibers only converted into cloth and other devices. So that the rosal, coir, and the cotton also fiber plants. Another plants are flax, broom corn, and sugar cane. So these are another some plants which are able to get more amount of fiber. So this is the snack grass fiber. Using snack grass plant, we are able to extract the fiber. The fiber extracted from this is called a snack grass. So these snack grass are where we are able to extract from snack grass. The elephant grass is another one fiber. So there, all of you, please mute. Please mute your Prabhudas. Elephant grass is another one fiber used. So these are the classification of plant fiber. We are able to get the plant-based fiber from different sources. If you are taking the bast stem, we are able to get the fiber. If you are taking the leaf, you are able to get the fiber. If you are taking the seed, you are able to get the fiber. If you are taking the stack, you are able to get the fiber. If you are taking the grass reed fiber, reed, even from the grass, you are able to get the fiber. If you are taking a wood, from the wood also we are able to get a fiber. That is hard or soft. So these are the different kinds of fiber we are able to extract from different part of the plant, not only from the leaf, not only from the bast, different part of the plant we are able to get the fiber. The bast or stem fiber. Bast or stem fibers are generally separated from the extreme outer part of plant stem. The examples of the fibers are jute, flax, abaca, hemp, rami, banana, soya bean, and hemp. These fibers are extracted by netting process and are accomplished by means of biological or chemical degradation of plant stems. Another one is the root fiber, the coarse and hard fibers extracted from the leaf of the plant by hand scraping after beating or using a retting process. We are able to get the fiber, or we are able to extract it by using mechanical extraction also. Due to the relatively high strength, these fibers are mainly used for making of woven ropes, fabrics, carpets, mats, etc. Fruit or seed fiber. These fibers were obtained from the outer husk of respective fruit and coir fiber. It is based example of this type, which is extracted from the coconut husk. These fibers are light in weight and strong, mainly used in the fabrication of ropes, mats, sacks, brushes, geotextile, etc. Stag fiber. So these fibers are extracted from the plant stacks and are generally obtained from plants such as maize, sugarcane, corn, eggplant, sunflower, wood, and from the toss of various crops such as barley, wheat, rice, etc. So even by using stack, we are able to extract the fiber. Reed or grass fiber. These fibers are extracted from the tall grasses such as ryegrass, elephant grass, switchgrass, and bamboo plants. So these are the grass plants. Even in the grass, we are able to get the fiber. Furthermore, fibrous scrap residues such as bagasse, esparto, sable, bromeliads, communis, canary grass, snaggrass, etc. also used for manufacturing of the fiber. Wood fiber. Wood fibers are extracted from various types of trees. The wood fibers are widely classified into two types, such as softwood and hardwood. So the main difference between these two types is that while softwood fibers are commonly longer than the hardwood fiber, and also the strength differ. On the other hand, these fibers are industrially processed with special attribute such as bond enhancement and alkali treatment, etc. So these are the fiber which are extracted from the different part of the tree or grass or a plant. Extraction of plant fiber. So when you, after getting the leaf or bast or something else from the plant, we must have to extract the fiber. How we are able to extract the plant fiber? A process where the inner stem and outer gets separated and the outer plant gets individualized to form a fiber is called retting. The separation of fibers from the core tissues after the retting process. Single fibers from the core tissues after the retting process. Single fiber from the plant stand fibers are usually obtained by manual or mechanical separation processor by using the decorticator. So the retting is the process used to extract the fiber. So the other process, which is called bulbing, is used to produce strand fiber or wood chips to individualize fiber. During mechanical bulbing, fiber strands or wood strips are grounded in three different ways, such as without steaming or with steaming and chemical steaming or pre-treatment. So using these processes, we are able to extract the plant fiber. In chemical bulbing process, heat and the chemicals are used in removing the lignin from strands and the wood strips, thereby individualizing the fiber. So the fibers can be even individualized by using the chemical bulbing process. In the recent past years, virtually everything became nano. Even materials like carbon black, which have been extensively used as the reinforcement or fillers in rubber for more than 100 years. Nano manufacturing of a vast range of high performance material and composites is presently generating enormous interest across many industries. Cellulose nanofiber or CNFs and cellulose nanocrystals CNCs are high strength, high surface area particles which can be isolated from cellulose fiber by mechanical fabrication and acid hydrolysis respectively. Although both CNF and CNCs are nano-sized, their chemical composition and dimensions are different. Even we are able to have the nano-sized fiber. So these are able to find applications in many industries nowadays. So like nano material, the nanofiber and the nanocrystals also finding many applications, and these are available from the plant fiber. While amorphous cellulose containing CNFs from interlinked networks of fiber, with each fiber measuring between 2 and 5 mm in length. The more crystalline and shorter CNCs typically measures a few hundred nanometers in length. Many studies have investigated the possibility of extracting CNF and CNC from various wood and plant sources. Properties of plant fiber. The properties of PFRCs differ because if you are going to see the table, we are able to find different fibers are having different properties like density, elongation, tensile strength, and Young's modulus. So these properties are different for the different fiber. Moisture conditions also decide the strength, and different testing methods were employed for measuring this. The PFRC's performance depends on several factors, including fibers, chemical composition, cell dimensions, microfibrillar angle, defects, structure, physical and mechanical properties, and also the interaction of a fiber with the polymer. PFRCs can be a combination of plant fiber, synthetic resin, or plant fiber biodegradable resin. Both synthetic and biodegradable resin can be either in the form of thermoset or thermoplastic type. So that either we are able to use the thermoset or we are able to use the thermoplastic for manufacturing the plant fiber reinforced composite. The use of plant fiber is improved remarkably due to the fact that the field of application is improved day by day, especially in automotive, aviation, construction industries. Lignocellulosic materials are obtained from natural plants and have attracted interest for the manufacturing of polymer-based composite. They are starting to be widely used in the plastics industry construction, biological system transport, and the automotive industry. Plant fibers are chosen as reinforcement because they can reduce the tool wear when machining, respiratory irritation, and serving as alternative for synthetic fiber composites in the increasing global energy crisis and ecological risk. When you are using the synthetic fiber, we are able to have respiratory irritation, and also the machining is somewhat difficult, so that the plant fibers are finding many applications than that kind of fiber. The increasing demand for green environment friendly has resulted in new plant fiber based material as replacement for non degradable materials derived from petroleum resources that are currently being used for a number of applications. So the material that are extracted from the petroleum resources also replaced by plant fiber. The matrix fiber and other additives are compounded through different method to form a composite. When you are seeing this, when you are manufacturing the composite, we are going to have the matrix and the fiber. If you are using different kind of matrix like epoxy, polyester, or biopolymer, accordingly, we are able to have different strength and other characteristics. The final properties of composites depend, aside from fiber and the matrix components, on the manufacturing process. The main goals to achieve in order to develop composites with well-balanced mechanical properties are: one, a homogeneous dispersion of the fiber. The equal distribution of the fiber throughout the matrix is essential for manufacturing the composite. A well-balanced interaction between the matrix and the fibers to allow fiber pull-out. Well-balanced interaction between the fiber and the matrix is essential for manufacturing the component. A low porosity of the matrix. When you are manufacturing the component, you must have to remove the holes and other thing in the matrix. So that leads to the porosity. Manufacturing the material without the porosity is the important one. And optimized percentage of fiber enough to reinforce the material while allowing a continuity of the matrix. So these are some of the chemical composition of plant fiber. So the filler, cellulose available, hemicellulose, lignin, protein, wax, and other contents are provided in the table. The properties. The properties of plant fiber reinforced composites depend on a number of parameters such as volume fraction of the fiber, fiber aspect ratio, fiber matrix adhesion, stress transfer at the interface, and the fiber orientation. Fiber orientation means that when you are going to keep the fiber in the particular angle, even that indicates the orientation. The orientation may be 0 degree, 30 degree, 60 degree, or 90 degree according to the requirement. The main factors affecting the properties of PFRCs are fiber selection, including the type of fiber, the harvest time required for the manufacturing, extraction method considered, aspect ratio, treatment used for making, and fiber content. Treatment means we are going to give a chemical treatment so that unwanted things from the fibers are removed so that the fibers get strong. Matrix selection, the selection of matrix like selection of polymer, interfacial strength, fiber dispersion, fiber orientation, composite manufacturing process, and porosity. The composites have been designed and fabricated by using three Jamaican plant fiber. The biogas has been generated from sugarcane, banana trunk from banana plant, and the coir from the coconut husk. The samples were subjected to standardized tests such as ash and carbon content, water absorption, moisture content, and tensile strength. From the test, it is found that the improvement in tensile strength and water absorption characteristics. When you are using and testing it, you are able to have and you are able to find the tensile strength and water absorption characteristics. The mechanical strength of woven banana canaf fiber composite increases due to the hybridization of canaf with banana fiber. Tensile, flexural, and the impact strengths of the woven composite of banana canaf fiber are superior to those of the individual fiber. Sodium lauryl sulfate treatments appear to provide an additional improvement in mechanical strength through enhanced interfacial banding. So this is the typical tensile stress strain curve for the banana fiber reinforced composite. This is the typical flexural stress strain curve of banana fiber composite at a different level of percentage and other thing. So this is the impact properties, flexural strength and flexural modulus comparison of canaf fiber. Please, this is the flexural strength obtained for canaf fiber reinforced composites. This is the comparison of impact strength at different styrene concentration. Styrene is nothing but a chemical which is used to remove the unwanted things in the fiber, and also we are able to remove the water content. So if we are going to give the styrene treatment, then we are able to improve the strength of the fiber. This is the SN curve for chem fiber reinforced composites. This is the moisture absorption curve for jute fiber, sisal glass fiber, reinforced polyester composite, jute glass fiber reinforced polymer composite, and sisal jute glass fiber reinforced polymer composite. For different composites, the moisture and the water absorption properties are provided. This is the life cycle assessment test is carried out. So LCA is a technique for assessing the environmental aspect and the potential impacts associated with a product by compiling an inventory of relevant input and output of a product system. Evaluating the potential environmental impacts associated with those inputs and output. Interpreting the results of the inventory analysis and the impact assessment phase in relation to the objectives of the study. The water absorption of canaf fiber composite at different temperature, 25 degrees centigrade and 50 degrees centigrade, is provided in figure. So the life cycle assessment: fiber plant cultivation, fiber extraction, on the other side monomer manufacturing and resin preparation. Then we are going to have PFRC component manufacture. Once the component is used, The component end of life management is landfill, other incinerate and compost. And these life characteristics also to be analyzed to see the life cycle of plant fiber reinforced composites. Wear properties. Abrasive wear studies were carried out under multi-pass condition on a pin-on-disc type wear testing machine. So the abrasive type paper of 400 grains was pasted on a rotating disc using double-sided adhesive tape. The sample pin was fixed in a holder and was upgraded under different apply load for 5 intervals of 5 minutes, where each time interval corresponds to a sliding distance of 94.25 meter. The effect of various loads and the sliding velocity in a track radius 40 mm are studied. The samples were cleaned by using acetone thinner to remove any debris adhered to sample before and after each test. So this is the wear test conducted on pin-on disc using the abrasive sheet. Then vibration frequency analysis. Anticipated an analytical formulation for the vibration analysis of the composite film with air battery. Later, once you are manufacturing the composite, the vibration or frequency analysis is also very, very important. Multiple delaminations significantly affect the dynamic characteristics of composite laminated beam. Experimental work was performed on the delaminated beam specimen made by semi-autoclave. Delamination was made by inserting Teflon film between the interfaces of prepreg. An analytical formulation of the composite beams for the vibration analysis was studied to show the effect of size and the location of multiple delaminations and the natural frequencies. Lateral multiple delamination with a constant delamination length through the thickness, the frequency linearly decreases as the number of delamination increase. The effects of longitudinal multiple delamination on the natural frequencies show that there exists some similarity to the results of the lateral multi-delamination case. The variation of dielectric loss, the dielectric constant and dielectric loss with frequency. Thermal properties also another one property which is essentially required and measured. So the thermal properties of the jute and the banana fiber were obtained by performing thermogravimetric analysis and heat deflection temperature analysis. TGA measures the amount and the rate of changes in the weight of a material as a function of temperature or time in a controlled atmosphere. Measurements are used primarily to determine the composition of materials and to predict the thermal stability and temperature up to 1000 degree centigrade. So when you are going to have the thermal properties up to 1000 degrees centigrade, it has been measured by TGA analysis or thermogravimetry analysis. So this is a TGA course of different treated canal fiber composites. So this is a storage modulus observed for the composites when increasing the temperature. So the relationship between E dash and tan delta for the DMA analysis. Heat deflection temperature of the curva fiber composite. So when we are going to see what is the heat deflection when the fiber weight fraction is increased 0%, 5%, 10% and 20%. When compared to 10%, 5% plays an important role. But when you are going to improve or increase the percentage of fiber, then we are going to have heat deflection temperature more approximately equal to 97 degrees centigrade. This is the IR spectrum obtained for jute fiber for untreated, A untreated, B succinylated, and C thalicylated. This is the FTA Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy analysis obtained for banana, abaca, and NaOH treated abaca fiber. So this is a creep strain and creep compliances of canal fiber composite at different temperatures. So this is the morphological property or surface property. So this is the surface structure obtained for jute, flax, and hemp. This is the 3D reconstructed volume visualization obtained by X-ray tomography of A. flax fiber, B. hemp fiber, and C. miscanthus fiber. This is some images of the fracture surface of sisal fiber, cross section of the SLA fiber in polymer composite. So when you are going to see that, we are able to see the honeycomb structure in the cross section. Some micrographs of cotton fiber, A untreated, B treated with sodium hypochlorite bleach for 10 hours, C treated with sodium hypochlorite bleach for 12 hours, and treated with cellulose for 4 hours, E treated with cellulose for 8 hours, and treated with cellulose for 12 hours. When comparing this, so there may be a different things obtained when you are going to use the cellulose. This is the tensile fractured surface of the banana fiber composite. A, B, C for untreated fiber, and D is the for NaOH treated, benzoylated treated, and KMnO4 treated. So the different treatment gives the improvement in the properties. So the burr and other things are removed so that we are able to get smooth surface. The same images of untested spicule fiber showing surface defects. B. Filed surface of a dry spicule fiber tested in tension. And the C is filed surface of a dry spicule sample in bending. So the industrial applications, we are able to have lot of applications using this plant fiber. So the plant fibers are finding applications in automobile, transportation, building, regarding the electromagnetic application, specs, and many kind of applications. Summary. PFRCs with an outstanding combination of properties are not redeemed today. When you are using the plant fiber reinforced composites, we are able to have many kind of applications. Nowadays, the day-to-day applications are available for the PFRCs. Even many of the components in Benz car are manufactured by means of using polymer-based composite. And also some of the parts in many of the cars are manufactured by means of using plant fiber. Use of proper processing techniques, fiber treatment, and compatibilizers, coupling agents can lead to composites with optimum properties for a particular application. Recently, there has been increased interest in commercialization of PFRCs and their use, especially for interior paneling in the automobile industry. Previously, PFRCs are manufactured only in the small scale. Now, the PFRCs are manufactured to a larger scale, and they are finding many applications, especially for interior paneling in the automotive industry. From the studies, we observed that the tensile, flexural, and impact properties are the most and important properties that are commonly investigated for plant fiber reinforced composites. Besides this, tensile, flexural, and impact, fatigue, moisture absorption, wear properties are also important and has been investigated by many researchers. The thermal properties such as TGA, HDT, DMA, and creep behavior are also investigated for plant fiber reinforced composites. The tensile, flexural, and impact properties of PFRCs are found to be dependent on the fiber length and the fiber weight fraction. To improve the performance to the desired level, still much work is to be carried out, considering fiber processing, non-linear behavior, fiber matrix adhesion, fiber dispersion into matrix, composite manufacturing with optimized processing parameter. In the future, these composites will see increased use in structural applications. Various other applications depend on their further improvement. But there are still a number of problems that have to be solved before PFRCs become fully competitive with synthetic and fiber composites. So they are sustainable and could be fully recyclable, but could be more expensive if fully bio-based and biodegradable, and they are extremely sensitive to moisture and temperature. Manufacturing of these composite by fully biodegradable resin is somewhat a difficult task. If a proper matrix is used, PFRCs could be 100% biodegradable, but their biodegradation can difficult to control. However, fully environmental superiority of these composites compared to synthetic fiber composite is still questionable because of their relatively excessive processing requirements, which in turn consume more energy. Therefore, careful LCA life cycle assessment of biocomposites is essential in order to retain the main advantages in the process of developing high performance PFRCs. New market will develop when these composite products are more durable, dimensionally stable, moisture and fire resistant. Further studies are required in order to evaluate the effects of fiber pre-treatment methods and alternative curing methods on the long-term performance of polymer-based composites. These are the credentials for me. Total publications 414, science citation in text 143 article, Scopus in text 225 articles, Google Scholar listed article 381 articles. This is my Scopus in text, now 37. Thank you. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please you may ask.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the valuable information you have shared. It is a privilege to hear you, sir. So, participants, if you have any queries, kindly unmute yourself and just you can post your query to sir. You can interact. So if you have any queries, please come forward. Sir is waiting to answer you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for sparing your time and spending your time with us and sharing the information with us, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Participants, and the feedback link has been posted in the chat box. Please make a note of it and do respond for the feedback. And thank you all for joining the session. So we'll meet again in the third session in the afternoon, 3 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
The participants are kindly requested to enter your feedback for the session 2. We will be closing the session soon, and are kindly requested to join the last session on time. Thank you. I kindly repeat, the participants are requested to enter your second session feedback. The link is open. We will be closing the current session soon. So kindly copy the link from the chat box and provide your valuable feedback, and kindly join with us for the last session. The last session will be at 3 p.m. So kindly join well ahead of the session by 2:50 or 2:55 p.m. Thank you.